Welcome back to Scripture and Prophecy. I'm your host, Sean, and the website is www.scriptureandprophecy.com. Today is Tuesday, October 31st, 2017, and it is the day that we're going to be doing the Torah portion today. And we're ready for chapter 25 in the book of Bereshit, that is to say Genesis. And last week we had the story of how Abraham sent his servant to go find a wife for Isaac from his own land. And it kind of ends with that, with her coming back with him. And in chapter 25 we're going to see the end of Abraham's life and the beginning of Jacob and Esau, and we're going to have a little conversation about the very last couple of verses in this chapter. I actually did an entire podcast on this, but I can't remember the name of it, dealing with Esau selling his birthright to his brother Jacob. And maybe you guys remember me doing that message a couple months ago or 3 months ago, something like that. But at any rate, let's go ahead and dive right in. Genesis chapter 25. Abraham proceeded and took a wife whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Joshkan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shaul. Joshkan begot Sheba and Dedan, and the children of Dedan were Asurim, Le'asimhim, and Lamamamin. And the children of Midian, Ephah, and Epher, Hanak, Abidiah, and Eldah. All these were the descendants of Keturah. Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. But to the concubine children, who were Abraham's, Abraham gave gifts. Then he sent them away from Isaac his son, while he was still alive, eastward to the land of the east. So Abraham remarries after Sarah passes, and he has several more children. And the scriptures go on to tell us that, even with these children, just like Ishmael, he gave them gifts and then sent them to another land, because everything that he was to have was to go towards Isaac. Now these are the days of years of Abraham's life which he lived, 100 years, 70 years, and 5 years. And Abraham expired and died at a good old age, mature and content, and he was gathered to his people. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron the son of Zohar the Hittite, facing Mamre, the field that Abraham had bought from the children of Heth. There Abraham was buried, and Sarah his wife. And it was after the death of Abraham that God blessed Isaac his son, and Isaac settled near Beer Lahai-roi. These are the descendants of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's maidservant, bore to Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names in the order of their birth. Ishmael's firstborn, Nabaoth, Kedar, Adbel, and Midsam, Mishma, Duam, and Massa, Hadad, and Turna, Jetur, Naphish, and Kadim. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their open cities and by their strongholds, 12 chieftains for their nation. These were the years of Ishmael's life, 137 years. When he expired and died, he was gathered to his people. They dwelt from Havilah to Shur, which is near Egypt, toward Assyria. Over all his brothers he dwelt. And these are the offspring of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean, from the Paddan Aram, sister of Laban, the Aramean, as a wife for himself. Isaac entreated Jehovah opposite his wife because she was barren. Hashem allowed himself to be entreated by him, and his wife Rebekah conceived. In other words, Isaac pleaded with Jehovah because Rebekah was barren. The children agitated within her, and she said, "If so, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of Jehovah. And Jehovah said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, two regimes from your inside shall be separated. The might shall pass from one regime to the other, and the elders shall serve the younger." When her term to bear grew full, then behold, there were twins in her womb. The first one emerged red, entirely like a hairy mantle, so they named him Esau. After that, his brother emerged with his hand grasping onto the heel of Esau, so he called his name Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. The lads grew up, and Esau became one who knows hunting, a man of the field. But Jacob was a wholesome man, abiding in tents. Isaac loved Esau, for game was in his mouth, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Jacob simmered a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was exhausted. Esau said to Jacob, "Pour into me now some of that very red stuff, for I am exhausted." He therefore called his name Edom. Jacob said, "Sell as this day your birthright to me." And Esau said, "Look, I'm going to die, so of what use to me is a birthright?" Jacob said, "Swear to me as this day." He swore to him, and he sold him his birthright to Jacob. Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and he drank, and he got up and he left. Thus, Esau spurned or hated the birthright. And that is the end of chapter 25. Now, one of the messages that I did several months ago, I was just talking about how Esau sold his birthright for mere stew. For mere stew. And, we think of that, we might look at that and we think, wow, that's really stupid. But I see people doing that every day. Not walking in the ways of God, claiming to know God, claiming to love God, but not walking in his ways. They're walking in the ways of the world. They're exchanging their inheritance. Exchanging their, actually inheritance is the best word. Exchanging their inheritance, their eternal inheritance, for stew, for the things of this world that mean nothing, that matter not, that'll add up to nothing. Jesus said, store up in heaven, store treasures in heaven where, a thief can't break in and rust can't destroy. Don't be storing up treasures here on earth. And it also shows that Esau just had no respect for his inheritance. Just no respect at all. But I see that, like I said, I see that amongst the people, amongst Christians every day. Trading their birthright for nothing. For the pleasures of this world. And sadly, I think just like Esau here, they don't even realize what they're doing. They don't even realize how severe it is to choose the world over their faith. To compromise their faith day after day for the pleasures of this world. And so we need to be sure, and we need to be careful rather, to be walking in God's ways and to take that seriously. And to not, like Jesus said, what is it to gain the whole world but forfeit one's soul? This world has nothing to offer but death and disappointment, folks. And that's hard to believe, and it's hard to understand. But it is reality. That is the podcast for today. Lord willing, I'll be back with you again tomorrow for chapter 26. And I hope that this has blessed you, and I hope that you're really enjoying these daily readings, or at least several times a week. And I pray that it's blessing you. Peace and grace be with all of you, and until next time, God bless.